Your next deal is going to make you the highest paid writer in Hollywood. Where do I sign?
Are you not, or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
Many questions can be answered yes or no only by a moron or a slave.
What drew you to the project?
The story first. The story basically steeped in free speech, and the suppression of that. And we're experiencing that with the TSA now. Can they just blatantly wiretap anybody they want to, or do they need some sort of proof or evidence that points in that direction? It's a discussion that should be had, but it shouldn't just be a blanketed permission for the government to be able to do whatever they want, whenever they want.
No studio will ever employ a member of the Communist Party.
Decent Americans feel that Hollywood is just a haven for overpaid traders.
What's your impression of Trumbo as a man, not necessarily the blacklisted screenwriter?
He was a very complex person, flamboyant, eccentric, conflicted, damaged in many ways, in some ways, drank too much, smoked too much. I mean, he was, didn't treat himself very well, treated others poorly at times, and then he was a great friend to even others. So he was kind of all over the board, which makes for a great dramatic character. But I'm glad I'm not that person, because in personal life it would be tough to live with. And his daughters say he was a tough guy to live with.
Well, I didn't know Dalton Trumbo. I didn't know of him before I read the script. So to me, like when I was reading it, it was just such an interesting story and just so amazing. And I mean, it definitely, I knew it was going to be a challenge just because Nikki does range. She has to go from 13 to like 30. And I was like, oh Lord, that's going to be a challenge. But challenges kind of draw me in. And I just think she's such a strong, fiery character and a person. And I really wanted to play that part, and especially hearing that Bryan was going to do it, and I was going to actually get to have scenes with him and kind of fight with him a little bit, and father-daughter in that way. I really wanted to do it. I was really excited about it.
We do what everyone says we can't. We write.
Are you out of your mind?
Congress has no right to investigate what we think or how we make movies.
What do you think Bryan Cranston brings to the role of Trumbo?
Every time I look at that poster, it seems like he's like, are you now or have you ever been? I don't know, are you? Bryan has so many great gifts, such a resonant voice, an acute mind, a fantastic sense of humor and great spirit with everything that he does. And he seems to have so much fun. It always makes you feel like you're having the same kind of fun that he's having. He brings you with him. And that's a wonderful gift.
He's insane. I mean, the first time that I saw him with, the stash and his voice, like even in just hearing him talk like Trumbo, he just completely transforms. He looks so much like him and just embodied that. And him, I remember seeing him, we had a scene, he's like sitting in the tub, with the typewriter and the cigarette and just the mannerisms of it. It was incredible. I think he's one of the best actors ever. He really just transforms himself so much.
I think why Bryan is so successful is not just his sheer talent. It's that there's a range of emotion, he's very passionate, very loving person, but he's also, intense and can connect to everything that Trumbo was experiencing and with so much wit sometimes, anger, hostility. And all of those adjectives, all of those qualities, I should say, were part of Trumbo, but Bryan accessed those parts of himself. And so, yeah, he's a great character for any actor, but Bryan really is the only guy who could have played him.
What do you think the enduring legacy of the Hollywood 10 is in film history?
I think it's that. I think it's the idea that freedom of speech is incredibly important, that we don't have to agree with what someone is saying, but we do have to agree that they have the right to say it. Simple. It's a good movie. It really is. I'm very proud of Trumbo.
Do you have to say everything like it's going to be chiseled into a rock?
Whisper a movie you've written in secret. Maybe I've even heard of it.
Maybe you have.